seeing is everybody's still. I don't see a fourth person.
No, I see Nate.
I see Nate.
How's it going, everybody? We are live.
Let me step out and come back in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dan, you're good. Go ahead. I hope you guys are having a great evening. Hopefully you're not as fucking cold as I am.
Not anymore.
Freezing. It had stopped snowing, and it is snowing again now. So I actually got out to Walmart. It's the first time I've come off the island or the mountain in like 4 days.
The island.
It's like, I feel like an island. I always say ethereal island. I'm always like, aha. But no, we're going to talk about Dan's, debut with Ethereal tonight. We're really, really excited about it. And we're going to have him back on. There he is. We'll bring him in. Is that better, Dan?
Yep.
Okay. Yay.
Right on. Love it.
All the smiling faces.
Yes. April will be joining us shortly.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and let Dan introduce himself. So if you guys have any questions or anything, when he's done, feel free to shoot them at him. And then I think we have April Reyna.
Hi. Dun, dun,
Yes,
dun.
April Reyna. And she's working on a commission for a cover right now, I believe.
Yes, I'm going to be backstage for just a minute while I scarf down a bowl of chili. I'll be right with you guys.
Scarf it.
I'm so hungry.
Mow that
So
chili
good.
down.
You're so good. All right, well, we're going to give the floor to Dan, and he's going to tell us about himself a little bit, and then we'll get him to, you guys can, spitball some questions about this new story. I'm excited about it.
I am Dan Wickline, a comicaholic, and I don't know, it's been like 10 years since my last confession. I have been writing comics since, this is going to date me. My first book came out in 1995, so I've been doing this for a minute or two. I have worked for Image, Dynamite, Zenoscope. I forget all the damn companies I've worked for. I did the Sinbad series over at Zenoscope, and then went on to do stuff part of their Alice in Wonderland books, their Grimm fairy tales, stuff like that. I recently did a book called Karma over at Dynamite, which is kind of an adult erotic series. I did a series over at Top Cow called The Freeze. I'm a photographer as well, so I have photo books out there. I've done some novels. I did a Vampirella novel for Dynamite. I have a book series of my own called Lucius Fogg series. So I've written a couple things.
Just a few.
And now I'm over here working with you guys at Ethereal on 2 different projects. And also, I don't know if I ever got a title.
I think that you're head creative editor is what I think that is. I think that's the line that's the actual official one that's going to come with the cool plaque and shit.
Ooh, the plaque.
Cool.
Well, they say
Name
plaque,
plate
but
and
I'm
everything?
hoping for the company taser. So
Hey, April, when you get done, I'm going to let you guys talk to Dan and stuff. I've got to fix some stuff on this Kickstarter real quick before it goes live.
right.
By all means, Johnny, I'm going to give you and Nate the floor to talk to Dan, and April's going to help out, and I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that pick 3.
That would be one of them. Yes.
All right. Because who doesn't love options?
Gotta have
Options are good, especially for my wallet.
I think we should have like a series, not a series, but like a whole like rainbow onslaught of really amazing stuff. Like the Code Yellow variant, the Mulberry variant, the Vermilion wild card.
What Kickstarter is going up?
One more time.
What Kickstarter is going up?
Oh,
Morgana.
Le Fay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your book.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
a good
you guys
time.
have been dropping covers like crazy, And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't see that one. I didn't. See
Yeah. When it rains, it pours. Everybody knows what that deadline is, and they just like making it rain. We got that one, and then we've got Xenos Ascension Saga right after. So essentially, my teams have about 2 weeks in between each project. So it feels like there's a turnaround time, like a pretty tight turnaround time every time you turn around.
That was a lot of turnarounds in one sentence.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it is true though. I mean, because you've got your line art staff, you got your we got a couple of inkers that will ink over the pencils, and then definitely the coloring staff, and they span the globe. So even at 3 a.m., you know, I'm answering phone calls, and not phone calls, but text messages or the messenger. There he is. Thank goodness for Google Translate.
You are a 24/7 operation.
It's true. It's just because I don't sleep though. Well, I do, but like it's usually while the kids are in school, so it works out.
Oh, I could validate that. There's been times like 6:30 in the morning, April and I have talked.
Right?
Because that's the only time you both have a quiet moment.
That's right.
You know, being on the West Coast, I've been getting messages and questions and stuff at like 4 a.m. and I'm laying in bed going, yeah, her eyes are fine.
What I can see of it, it looks great. It looks great.
Yeah. Let me find my glasses. Hang on.
And then they're like,
So
oh,
true.
maybe not. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on the West Coast too, so sometimes I hear certain things. I will wake up and I'll look at my phone and message. I'm like, yeah, thank goodness I don't make any decisions, thank goodness. So it doesn't matter. I can miss them.
It was like tonight, Dustin sends me a message, goes, hey, you want to come on the show tonight and talk about Morgana? I'm like, sure. He goes, 7 p.m. Central. I'm like, who the hell uses Central?
Well, we do.
this guy.
Central 2 hours ahead. Because in my mind, whenever I do the time zones, it's like, well, it's East Coast or West Coast. And it's like,
Yeah. So you always
okay.
forget the middle.
When
it's
I-
like, okay, it's
when I
6
lived in
o'clock here,
Arizona.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm like, wait, which one is Mountain and which one is Central?
When I lived in
I tend to have to
Arizona,
Google it.
we don't
I always
honor
double
it.
check.
And by the way, Dustin isn't a help. I said, that's like an hour ahead, right? He's like, yeah, I think so.
Give or take.
Don't take his word for it when it comes to the timing of it in the time zones. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I Siri'd it. I went, Siri, what time is it in Tennessee right now? The answer. Like, okay.
Mhm.
And with you, Dan, I'm West Coast as well. So to make
Yeah,
do that
we're talking
translation in my head. Conversion.
I'm not as familiar with the lore of the Morgana.
Mhm.
How does she actually get folded into the lore of King Arthur and that that realm? I could use a little bit of schooling.
Okay. The thing is that there are multiple stories out there and multiple, different versions of it. There are some that are more popular than others. She is usually considered the half sister of Arthur
Mhm.
from Uther, and various mothers have been assigned to her basically through history. What I did was there's also some relation to her being a member of the Fae, or at least her mother was a member of the Fae. So, and usually in those stories, she's Fae and has nothing to do with Uther Pendragon, Arthur's father. And I went, well, what if those two did happen? Oh God, about 15 years ago, one of the pay channels did a Camelot series with Eva Green as Morgana. And I think Ray Fiennes was Merlin. And it didn't take off. They did one season. It didn't get renewed. But Morgana was just this great character in it. And I started looking at, if you really dive into Arthurian legend, Uther Pendragon was an a-hole. I mean, really, just a nasty guy.
He
And-
was a nasty piece of work. Yeah.
Yeah. Arthur is, and in most legends, this is what it is. Uther was in a battle with his main rival, and they were on the battlefield. And Uther decided to get Merlin to use his magic to make him look like his actual enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to his enemy's castle while the enemy was actually out on the battlefield attacking Uther's army, and stripped his wife.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. Seduced his wife and everything else. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and that is
What a
how
stand-up guy.
and that's how Arthur comes along.
Okay.
So that's why there's always been this thing. But every tale of Arthurian legend, Arthur's the good guy. And it's like, is he?
Right.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm pretty sure if Morgana is the first child of Uther, and Arthur is a child of deceit and rape, maybe Morgana should have got the throne. So, and that's just where this idea, and I've had this idea to do for a long time now. I've even pitched it to a couple other companies, but it was never quite the right time. And that's how a lot of my comics happen. I just, I've got a folder of ideas, and every once in a while something comes along going, "We're looking for a comic." Well, this one.
Yep.
Nope. Okay. It's like fan it out. Pick a card, any card.
Pretty
was talking-
much.
I was talking to Dustin the other night, and as he was explaining one of the books coming up, it reminded me of a book that I pitched probably about 6 or 7 years ago to Avatar.
Oh.
And I'm like, and it wasn't quite right for Avatar, but it was close.
Mm.
But I'm like, I think it would really fit well here. So I gave him like the overhead view, and Dustin's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like an ethereal book."
Nice.
So now I
An
got to
elevator pitch.
find the pitch for it. But yeah, so this story of Morgana is telling it from her point of view, and in the best stories, everybody is the hero of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in this case, we're going to kind of lean into that. But not only are we looking at Arthurian legends from Morgana's point of view, but we're also going to bring in some of the Celtic mythos.
Oh, cool.
You'll notice on some of the covers, it almost appears like there's multiple women.
Mm.
Mhm.
One is a Fay, one is Morgana, but there's also the Morrigan, who is the Celtic goddess of the dead, or the chooser of the dead.
Mhm.
And she plays a big part, at least in my take on Morgana,
Nice.
as does Merlin and a few other things. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking to this book, is turning Arthurian legend upside down.
I love it. I've been pretty excited since I got to read the script for this to come alive. So I am excited to, not only is the interior art beautiful, but the covers seem to be pretty spectacular too. And obviously I have the inside scoop on a lot of this stuff, but I'm particularly excited about this one.
And the
So
sneak peeks that I've been getting, yeah, I mean, cover-wise, at least, I haven't been able to read the script. Nate probably got that. But yeah, I'm really excited to see it because the art looks amazing.
mhm.
And
I
I
did.
too, you're right,
I had a
Dan. I mean,
blast
there's
with-
so many different versions of the Arthurian legend that's out there with Morgana and everything else. So it's really fun to see something a little new and different from a different perspective. So I'm very excited because I think Morgana is, I've always considered her slightly misunderstood. I mean, she's always painted in a light. So it'll be cool to see her in a more badass
Mhm.
light and everything else. So I'm very excited about that. So
Yeah, she is definitely the hero of this journey.
pretty cool.
So, and Uther, of course, will be outed as the bastard that he is. And Arthur is not necessarily going to be played up in the greatest of lights either,
Okay.
So, I want to
It'll
talk
be
about.
interesting to see how the regular other people who, because there's always those people who are pro Arthur, and it's like, and they're going to go, wait, what?
And they're going to look some of this stuff up and go, wait, no, that's the way it's written. He really was pretending to be that other guy and had okay.
Check.
But you were talking about the art, and the covers that you've been sending have been just gorgeous. I keep
Excellent.
saving them in my phone. I figure once the Kickstarter launch, I'm just gonna just blanket my social media with all these different covers and stuff.
For sure.
But I want to talk about the interior artist. Is this guy named Renzo Rodriguez, and I've known Renzo for quite a long time. It's always been social media, but I think we met back at Zenoscope, and we've been talking about trying to do a book for quite some time. And we were even working on a kind of a twisted superhero tale for a while. And I mean, when you're a writer, you put together pitches like crazy and you send them out, and
Mhm.
sometimes you hear nothing at all, and you just cricket, cricket, cricket. So we sat on that, and we would keep in touch through internet and through Facebook and stuff. And then this project came up, and Dustin said, "So is there anybody you want to work on this?" I went, "I've got my guy. I don't know if he's available, but I got a guy, and his work has gotten so much better over the years. He is constantly improving." So I told Dustin about Renzo, and like a few weeks later, he's like, "Okay, we got Renzo." I'm like, "Oh, awesome."
Yay. Hey Dan, it's really funny. So I mean, I've discovered I know of your work, but I didn't realize I knew of your work because I have a lot of I collect the Zenoscope. I have a lot of the Grimm fairy tales and the Alice in Wonderlands. I have the Karma book and everything else. So I'm just really bad with names. So it's like I get to meet people and then I get that name and I go, "Oh, you were the one who did." Cool. So yeah, so I'm already a fan and didn't know it. Now I know.
Love it. Love to hear it. You know,
And it's kinda
Renzo
funny.
jumped
Did
at
it.
the chance to work with Dan again because he wanted to work with him before and get the opportunity. So he was very excited to jump in and get to do the work. Like I just showed you guys a minute ago, that was one of the few pages that we're showing off of the book. It's absolutely beautiful stuff. And then you guys know that I love David, so we had to bring David on to color it. And Ocampo he's been in the industry forever, and his colors are like no other, you know. So it was like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna bring him on, and he's excited about the work. So you guys know that we've only done one short story, so you can look forward to a lot of tales, a lot of issues of this coming out. Like Dan mentioned as well, there is another series that he's got to work on. Before I start the Kickstarter up, Russ is working on the add-ons. I don't know what happened with it, but apparently none of his add-ons saved. So he's going through and working on all the add-ons.
Okay.
Anyway, so we'll go over some.
And from what I hear, add-ons are a pain in the butt. So.
Oh man, well, you know, they get better as they go, but stuff,
Yeah.
you know, the UI stuff happens. So that's not the cover I was trying to show you yet.
But that's a nice cover.
It is
That's a
nice
good
cover.
one though.
There is cover A.
Oh,
That is
okay.
Renzo's cover.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
With the compost colors. I think it's cool. I'm a big fan. And then, you know, we brought Renee on. We all love Renee. So we brought Renee Roth on for this one.
That's right. Yep.
Mhm.
I've seen that one.
Such a beautiful cover. Like, it really, really is a beautiful cover.
I love that soft focus in the background. It's just really makes it pop.
So
that
cool, right?
is-
I'm a big fan. You guys know we don't play around when it comes to artwork. So, man, oh man. April, tell me about this one.
I like that one.
Yep.
I'm seeing more and more that I haven't seen before.
But wait, there's more. April's muted, so I don't know.
April
if
is
she knows
muted.
Oh, I am so sorry. It's above my eyes.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell us about this one, April.
Jason Heir.
Hey, here.
is
Yep.
Yep. I knew I was going to say it correctly. But that's his line art. And then we had Hector Rubelar and I threw in a couple of glows on it, but yeah, Hector Rubelar did a great job on getting that rendered out, and I just really love that Avatar-esque style, like glowing flora and fauna around. I don't know. I hope it prints beautifully. I have
I'm
high
sure it will.
hopes.
Me too.
Fingers crossed too, because it's beautiful on the screen. It's truly lovely.
I mean, there's only so far that a printer can go in order to really capture the essence of mulberry.
I don't want to talk about that.
Who designed-
No, round and round the mulberry bush for you.
Go ahead,
Before
Dan.
we move on to another cover, who designed the logo?
That was Russ and I.
Okay.
It's a very cool logo. I like that a lot.
Russ and I go over the logos for all the books before we put them out. He's extremely talented, and he does all our graphic design and stuff like that. So, really, really good dude. And then, Bladen wasn't going to miss out on this one, so he brought it. Jesus, did he bring it? I think his quote was, "I can't let the new cats outshine me."
that sounds like Bladen. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I think this may be one of my favorite color covers that he's done. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
he
The
definitely
light
brought
and the
it.
shadows and just the posing is spot on.
It's
And
just,
Morgana looks pissed off in this cover.
Mhm.
Ready to kill
she's
him.
it's like the most heart-wrenching, saddest thing. Like, this is the moment where she's captured and she can't save herself. Like, I love this piece so much.
Yeah, it came out really good. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out really pretty. I think as we go forward, you guys are going to get to see several more covers that you find equally as pretty.
And I think, from what Dan was saying a little bit too, I think as we go through, we'll get a little more hints as to the people and the character and kind of the characters of those and why we should be concerned.
I think there's only one that I'm not going to show you guys tonight, and that is
Fine.
you'll see it on the page.
Yeah.
You can go look at it on the page. But that is the Massey cover, and that's just because we had a colorist issue.
Okay.
Special reveal.
Yeah. And because of the fact that we love our team so much, we reached out to Dan, and we love Dan, so Dan was hyped to jump on it real quick for us. So the next cover, wow, this one though, right? I'm gonna let April tell you about this one too, though.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Abhilash Panda as the line artist, and we had the amazing Niai Rufino do the
Art
colors.
Voyager.
Oh God. Yep.
Yes. Art
Art
Voyager. Yes. He can be found under Art Voyager if you want to find his page and support him. But yes, it is exciting to have him onto the team, and gorgeous stuff.
He just did the additional 6 pages for Fallen Leaves issue 2 with our letterer right now, and then he's also going to be doing all the interiors for the first ongoing Red Label book, Crimson Sails.
Oh wow, that'll be cool.
We're really excited about that.
We've got him on a short
Go ahead, Dan.
story
Sorry.
of Xenos Ascension Saga.
Just Ascension Saga, yep.
Just Ascension Saga?
We took the Xenos off of that, yep.
We did.
We damn sure did, thank you.
Okay.
Just to make it a little less of a mouthful.
I feel like we should have like representation of every letter of the alphabet.
Jesus.
Okay.
Anyway,
Peter's gonna hate.
what were you gonna say, Dan?
What I really like about this cover is that not only do you get Morgana up in the top, but you get both the Fae and the Morrigan on the cover. So you get a little more. A couple of these guys really pick up on some of the story elements, and I appreciate that a lot.
We went through a time period where I'm gonna company drop here real quick. We went through a time period where we did the Zenoscope thing, where we were just doing pinups. You know what I mean? It was pinup after pinup after pinup, and it was a great way to grow when we were starting.
Mhm.
But as we've grown, we constantly want to add more elements from the story into the actual covers. And I think that we're getting to a point where we're really, really happy, and that teams are starting to understand exactly what we want to see out of a cover. Because I don't stand and hold your hand when it comes to covers with Ethereal. None of us do, whether it's Bladen or April. We like to give people the ability, if they so choose, to design something cool and run with the story. Most of our team members read the scripts before they come up with the cover. So that's where you're getting a lot of this. But Nei colored this, and it was
Oh,
Well, Nia is
I
a
love
superstar.
seeing-
She's just amazing. So yeah.
I loved seeing that. I've worked with Nei all the way back to the Zenoscope days.
Mhm.
She was the
Yeah.
colorist on Sinbad when I started over there.
Yep.
yeah, she's
And I love
amazing.
Nei. She is awesome.
this was the one cover I yelled at Dustin. I was like, I want this. I want this. And he's like, it's digital.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Dang.
So the next one is another team member of ours that's been with us for a little while. Oh, about a year now, actually. And that's Vic Moya.
Vic.
And this one was really cool because I mentioned the other day online that we haven't done a wraparound in a while. So this is the first wraparound cover we've done in some time. And the other side of this, I don't have the image. I can pull it up, but the other side of it actually is her backside. But there's a castle and like a war going on with this castle in the background, and it's really, really cool stuff.
Yep.
It's hilarious. There's a hidden gem in the rocks if somebody finds it and you're at a convention. I'll give you a sticker.
Easter eggs. I love it.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
When I first saw this one, it was a black and white version.
Mhm.
And when I saw it, you guys had posted it online, and my first thought was, oh, Polito has another Lady Death cover.
Yeah.
Because
It's
it's
that
black
good.
and white.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went, oh, wait, Dustin posted. Oh, that's my book.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out so beautifully, and Dan did an amazing job. When you actually get to see the book in hand, those feathers are meticulously colored. Like, they are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, the detail is insane.
It's you don't like. I love the front.
Yeah.
But you ain't see nothing until you see the back.
So you
Like-
don't have the image? Can you find it? Or
I wish I could show it to you. I don't have it.
okay, you don't have it. Okay, gotcha.
April,
So
you have it?
Yes, but you have to like it's underneath all
Hold
the
on.
boxes and
maybe
stuff.
I can download it. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. I'll see if I can't find it.
I'm in the process of moving, and so my life
Mm.
is like discombobulated.
Just a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
So apparently it's supposed to
hold on.
rain like bananas on the day that I scheduled the movers. So I'm just so excited.
I wonder if I can. You've probably shared it in the group chat. So let me see if I can.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the full spread on
Oh.
that you sent me. So
Look
Yeah, let
under
me see if I can.
look under the group chat of Dan Kemp and I.
Yeah,
there
let
you go. Yep.
me see if I can bring it up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, April.
We're not pushy.
I'm very pushy.
No, Dustin, go find it. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm
That's
going.
right.
I'm after it. I promise.
wait,
No,
Get
I'm just saying.
halfway through it,
I'm just
right?
laughing at us because. we're
Yeah.
like,
I got this. I'm gonna find it. April and Dan, media. Yeah.
So while he's
hold on.
looking for that, I got a question for you, Dan. So how about Lancelot? What are we going to see with Lancelot in the story? Is he going to be an asshole, or is he going to be actually trying to help out Le Fay in this one?
Good question. The knights are going to be a little twisted from what we're used to.
Mm.
I don't know if we'll actually. There we go. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't decided if we're going to bring Modred into this yet,
Mm-hmm.
but Lancelot will play a big role later on, it's going to take us a little while to get to
Mhm.
Arthur and the knights and stuff. So
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the round to see how it goes. Like you said, we don't ever do short stories, so it's like pushing out the longer storytelling gives the writers time to feel out the story, feel out where they want to go with it, flesh out characters, so you're not just thrown something and have to run with it. You know what I mean? We like to give you guys a full character development. It was you can ask April. It was a tough pill for me when I decided that we were going to start bringing on more writers. You know, it was like one of those things where it wasn't I was against it. I was just like, holy crap, I'm so like on our books. You know, they have to be perfect. Every book that comes out of the theater has to be perfect. And as soon as I was talking to Dan, I got the first script, and I was like, fuck, I don't have to edit shit. This is like great, you know. And then I sent him my copy of my synopsis for Crimson Sails, and he sent that back to me, and I was like, God damn, you know. So it was an easy thing for me to decide to go, hey, that's the guy that's going to handle the writers for this company. You know what I mean? That's the guy. And so I was very, very proud of everything Dan has put out so far. It's absolutely stunning.
thank you.
Here is the next cover, and this is done by Gabriel, and you guys know Gabriel from Heavy Metal. You know Gabriel from
Fallen Leaves.
Fallen Leaves. Yep. You know Gabriel from other covers that he's done of ours. He's been with us for about 2 years now. He actually started on If It Hops issue 1 was the book that Gabriel came on. But here's his cover.
Oh, that's a cool perspective.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The wild cover is bananas.
It's wild.
It is very wild.
It's not going to be on this campaign.
It's gonna be somewhere.
Not going to be. It'll be on issue 2.
Probably, yeah. It'll be something.
Okay. And
I'll
it'll
do
be
something with
bananas then.
I'll have to do something with it.
Yeah, on issue 2. You're not hearing me.
Nope.
He's not listening. There's a difference, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's that one perk I get because I own the company. I can be like, I don't know about that.
Then I'm going to paint it mulberry.
So
I was gonna say
In camo.
the
Camo.
Melbourne
Camo.
camo.
Oh
With
my
a Cajun
God.
twist.
oh my god, the Cajun twist. All right, so here's the last cover I'm going to show you guys tonight, and it's absolutely beautiful. And this is Hibrin's cover,
Oh, yeah.
and
Mm.
I you know, it's funny. Sometimes you can pick a cover out of all the covers that you're putting out on an issue and go, that's the clean cut number 1, that's the clean cut number 2, that's the clean cut number 3. I don't think we can do that with this book. I honestly don't think that's a thing. And I'm very proud of that. I think going forward, that's going to be a thing. I got an amazing compliment from a good friend of ours earlier. And she was like, we really appreciate you not raising prices on books. And just due to the artists, because for a lot of you that don't know, there's big price differences in the artists that you bring on.
Yep.
And there isn't anybody on this book that's not money, you know. So we're very proud to be able to work with such amazing talent and still keep the prices at a way that are affordable to people, including the pick 3, because we know everybody loves pick 3. I love the pick 3. Go ahead, Dan. You got something? Okay, right on. So love the Hibrin. I mean, love the Hibrin. But you know, I'm a big fan of his. Such a good dude. And then there was another. Well, I showed you the page earlier. Just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really happy with that. And we've got a lot going on right now. I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit before we get out of here. Do you guys have any more questions for Dan regarding this book? Because I'm going to move on if you don't.
I have one question for Dan on this.
Yes.
One. So, as the story unfolds, right, and we were talking about Morgana being, you know, the hero or anti-hero in this story, and that was done kind of badly, right, by Arthur and Uther. You know, as the story progresses, do we ever see a point where maybe Arthur has a realization of what's really going on with himself, and then might try to fix things? Say with said Morgana. I don't want to give away storylines, but I
Right.
also, but at the same time, it's like if you want to see a pipe or a light at the end of the tunnel situation.
I have a kind of, well, I think it's a unique writing style
Correct.
in that I have a general idea of where I know where I'm going. But I also, when I start writing, I kind of let the characters breathe and let them become the characters they're going to be.
Hmm.
And I've had this happen in the novels, the books, where they kind of take their own direction. And then once I write book one, I start on two. By the time I get to the end of two, I may not be where I think I'm going to be, but I still have that end point.
Hmm.
So I am kind of going to let Arthur grow into who he's going to be. So that's a possibility, but that's not guaranteed at this point. I'm going to see how Arthur plays in the scenarios and stuff. I know that's it sounds like a kind of a cop out answer, but
And I understand that because I mean, especially A, from plot points, right? And then B,
yeah,
from also that these are stories that are evolving as it goes. And that's what I love about ethereal books, right? Like the story evolves to the point where you don't know where it's going. I usually can figure out a lot of things, and Dustin knows that, in the most of his stories. But I like it when I don't know, right? Like I don't know what's going to happen. That is what intrigues you to, like when I read Sinbad, when he first put it out years and years ago, right? Like you didn't know where that story was going to go. You just followed for the ride, which was great about that book.
I'm
I
about
found
that.
that
Good ride's
over the
always fun.
years that some of my favorite writers usually are the ones that when I hear them talk about their process are the ones that literally their characters take on a life of their own. It's
Yeah.
I started this character and I thought they were going to go here, but they told me we ended up over here. And I'm like, yes. And
Yeah.
those always end up being my favorite stories, my favorite writers. So I love that.
the best example I have is when I wrote my first novel, the Deadly Creatures from the Lucius Fogg series. I was completely insane because I wrote it live on Twitter. So I
Wow.
basically got up every morning, wrote a chapter in the Twitter app. And this is back when it was only 144 characters.
Right.
And I just started writing and would it's like, okay, I have an idea of what I want the chapter to be today, but I'll let it flow. So I didn't pre-write or anything like that. And I didn't change it much after. I would copy it out of Twitter, put it on a page, and then just clean it up.
Yeah.
And as I was writing it, two major changes happened while I was writing the book. The first was I was a few chapters in, and I realized I wasn't getting a strong enough emotional connection because it's about somebody being turned into a werewolf and all this stuff that happens to them.
Right.
And I was doing a first person narrative, but it wasn't that person that got turned into the werewolf.
Okay.
Mm.
So I ended up killing the first person or the werewolf and turning my narrator into the werewolf to make it more of a personal story.
Right
It wasn't
on.
planned, and it made sense. Then I was doing this over weeks and weeks, and I was at the San Diego Comic-Con, and I got up in the morning to write this chapter before I went to the con, and I couldn't think of what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I was thinking, we need some kind of third party here. We need something. And just in the back of my mind went, it's 1950s. Let's add the Russian mob.
Right on.
It had nothing to do with the rest of the book at the beginning. So I just suddenly threw in the Russian mob. And not only did it work for that scene, but it changed how the ending played out.
For
And
sure.
they became a big part of the ending. And it made the book work better because
that's
it was
very cool.
so both of those things happened because they were the natural flow of the story.
Right on.
So I go in with the idea of the story I want to tell and the endpoints, usually with a novel, I do by thirds.
Mhm.
I break down the first act, the second act, and the third act. And as long as I'm near my endpoint before I go on, then that's great. With comics, it's kind of the same thing. Each comic is kind of an act. And as long as I kind of reach where I want the ending to be, then the next time I sit down, I go, okay, this is where we're at. And sometimes characters do things that I don't plan,
Right.
but it makes the story better because it's the natural flow.
For sure. I think you have a natural page turn. And I think that's very powerful. If you have a natural, like I wasn't taught how to write. It wasn't something that I had, studied or anything like that, but I'd been reading since I was a kid, comic books since I was knee high. And when I put out my first book, I was very, very blown away by people talking about the natural page turn. And I had a natural page turn. I didn't know what that was. You know what I mean? I had no idea of a concept of what it was to have a natural page turn. And like myself, it's a very different type of thing. I don't do dialogue until I've seen the pages. Like my characters, it was a real fucked up joking situation one evening with a bunch of people that had been writing for many, many, many years. And they were like, can you hear the characters? And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And so like I would do my dialogue beforehand, you know what I mean, in my first few books that I put out. And then I was like, the dialogue makes sense and but they were like, yeah, it's great, but can you hear them? And I was like, quit fucking with me. You know what I mean? Like, this makes no sense. And so with Babes Born Dinosaurs, issue 1, I started writing like facial expression and how I wanted the characters to look and what they were getting across to another character. And then when I got the pages back, I could write down, it was like vomit all the dialogue out because I saw the pages and I was like, that's exactly what the fuck he said, and that's her O face right fucking there. You know what I mean? But no, it's very different for everyone in how they do things. But I find it to be very interesting. Like we went over the Crimson Sales stuff. He was like, man, I dig this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to do it like this. And I was like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like I understand it. And there are plenty of people that will tell you how to write, right? Like let me go on a harangue real quick before we start this Kickstarter. When you, as a writer, when you just start doing it, there's not a motherfucker out there that's going to tell you how to do it. Not a single one. And then if they do, they're probably not going to tell you the right way to do it because of the fact that they don't want you getting work that they'd get. Hand to fucking God. You know what I mean? And so
Makes no sense.
It is the way it is, though. That's this whole comics. That's comics as a whole. Don't get confused. That shit's real talk.
Well,
so
still dumb.
No one fucking had any help for me, so I stay on Ethereal Island. Anyway, so it's like I see all these shows and all these people talking about, I'm gonna teach you and da-da-da. I got all this serious real talk about how to be a writer and shit. And it's like, but what did you write though? You know what I mean? What did you write? I self-published a comic book. Great. What are your sales numbers like? Teach me. What can you show me? And it's like, okay, but no, you're not going to charge me when you don't have the worldly experience to do that. And for anybody that wants to write, dude, don't pay motherfuckers on Facebook to teach you how to write a goddamn comic book. Please don't. Please don't. I'm not going to teach you, but don't pay people. Don't pay people to teach you off of Facebook. That's like anything else. Don't pay people to teach you how to put out a comic book off Facebook. It's just not going to work. Dan has years upon years of experience. April has years upon years of experience. I've got about a good 4 under my belt now. And it's one of those things where you have to find your path. And we always joke about lightning in a bottle around here. Can we get lightning in a bottle again? Can we hit that? And it's important.
He
Yeah.
said hit that.
Totally hit that.
Jesus H. Batman. Anyway,
April's not even gonna. She's gonna throw mulberries at it.
so
Oh,
April,
yeah, it'll
April
totally
right now, let me show you what she's working on. I haven't zoomed in on it yet tonight. So April is working on a
Penny.
cover commission for a store exclusive right now
Ooh.
for Penny.
Very cool.
So we're very excited about that.
Do you want me to show the?
You can show the other one. We're not on Twitch tonight, so you can show it. And we're not monetized. They already told me to fuck myself and I'll never be monetized.
Hey, it's like my channel.
Yeah, that's Mike's book. Yeah.
She's been slimed.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I still need to draw Slimer, but I didn't want to do that live.
By
No,
the way, I
it's
just
really,
want you guys to-
hey, Mike, you know what's really cool about this? You're getting 2 fucking covers. You're not like getting a swipe. That's full on art for 2
Yeah.
goddamn covers.
Boom. There you go.
Which is amazing.
I just want to throw out there, April and I have known each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We met at like the Phoenix Comic Con.
Yes,
And
and
we
I
worked
like.
together
so
on something
embarrassed.
before. And I look at her art now and I think back to what we were. April, what did we work on?
It was the mysterious something another at the Monarch Apartments.
The Mysterious Monkey at the Monarch Apartments.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
what kind of book was that?
That was a children's book.
A children's book, yes.
It was a children's book. You know what's
It is.
funny?
I have
I
a
still
copy.
won't
Wide range from.
Look,
I
you
was
will
packing
find
my
so
office
much
and I
talent.
found them.
You know, if you peep around Ethereal for just a couple minutes, you just start peering around the names, you'll see so many different people that have so many different talents from so many different backgrounds. I think we're literally at like 87 different artists right now. You know what I mean? It's fucking huge. I no more. That's what she said. I know it's coming. So no, but there's a lot going on, and we're very proud of the things going on right now. We're moving into other media. We've got you know, we've talked about it a few times now. We're Bladen and I are working on a television show in the background. There's a lot of motion going on. We just picked up 2 incredible cosplayers. One will be working on Penny, and one will also be working with Penny, who will have her own book. We're very, very excited about her character and what she's got going on. But there's so much that you guys are going to get to see. So much that people are trying to talk me into doing that I will
Can't
see.
imagine who that would be.
Oh my gosh, there's a few.
Oh,
people.
I usually try to talk him out of stuff.
That's a fact.
This is true.
But there's a few other things that we got going on right now. The Red Label is about to start up, like not just art books. It's about to start having its own ongoing series. We're very happy about that and super pumped. April's got her Squee After Dark book coming up shortly, which is going to be absolutely awesome.
Yep.
And then I am about to do all kinds of crazy shit as usual. So let me check on Russ, and I will be right back.
Hey, April, can I ask a quick question? Are you still working on the Junicorns?
Yes.
No, I know a lot going on. Everything else, I'm entirely okay being patient.
Oh,
I
no.
just thought
You're
I'd
fine.
check.
Absolutely. No, Junicorn is like the next thing that I'm gonna be doing. It might wind up being June by the time I get everything situated.
It'll come
Perfect
full
timing.
circle.
We had spontaneously decided to move. Our lease came up and something was just too good to look away, you know? And so we're in the process of getting that transitioned over. I carry with my my little pack of stuff, the Squee After Dark stuff, just to keep finishing it. I've actually got remember when There Be Shadows came out? And we had that beautiful windy showering piece.
Yes.
Yeah, the one I wanted.
Yeah, June N is the artist. She's actually doing a cover for me for Squee After Dark. So I'm waiting for that to come in, and then I can get that Kickstarter live.
Okay.
So
That's exciting.
definitely worth the wait. I'm just all like, oh, well, you can do something really bland. And she's like, oh, I can incorporate a little bit of that, but I'm going full on. I'm like, oh, really?
You can't have bland with Squee After Dark. That's just
You know
Right.
what? I told her anything she wanted, and she was just like, I don't think she took me seriously. And so now that it's really happening, she's like, well, you don't think this is too much? I'm like, no,
No.
go for it. Full, like, whatever
Go all
you
the
want,
way.
baby. Yeah. How's this?
I'm
Is
excited to
this
see it.
okay?
That's going to be fun.
Oh, she's already been posting progress shots and stuff. So if
Yeah,
you,
I think I've seen a few of those. So
yeah, it's enough to make you blush.
I don't blush as much.
I didn't think I would either, but then I'm all like, oh my. And I'm excited because, yeah, I don't know. It's really beautiful artwork, and the attention and level of detail that she incorporates, and it's reassuring when you work with artists that have vision, and not every cover turns out the same. And she's one of those that, I don't know, she's setting her own path.
She's got a lot of versatility.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so it's a pleasure to have her on board. And yeah. So I've actually got half of Squee After Dark already like done. And once we get everything moved over, I can get back to it. I'm just tinkering around with this a little bit. Just after hours. It's hard. It's hard to like focus. I don't know.
Focus. What's that? Look, a puppy.
I
It's
know,
shiny.
right?
Squirrel.
Exactly.
We work with 15
Exactly.
different IPs right now. Who has focus?
I
What is this focus word you bring? I don't understand.
I brought the book with me when I went to the Rocket City convention, and got to show Dustin, how this analog system actually works.
It's very
And-
cool. Like
The Book of Bounty.
no, it's very well put together and stuff, and it's just one of those things where, like, right now, when we started doing things, Joe Bladen and I, it was very much a two dudes trying to build a company. You know what I mean? It was I had put out a couple books, and when it was like, we've got it down or whatever, but we were still two dudes in different places trying to manage all these people, and then all of a sudden it was like, when April came on, it was like, oh, there's someone that's organized. Fuck.
What the hell is this?
Yeah,
That works. You can do it that way.
yeah. Make us look presentable. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it was like, we did a year. April has been on a year now, and it was like, oh my God, when a year and a half ago, a good friend of mine told me that I wouldn't be able to write comics and run a publishing house at the same time. And
Hold my beer.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt
Yeah.
at the time.
At the
At the time, I did feel like that. I was like, hey, I can do all this. And then the more I realized it, the more I did, and the further we got, the more I realized that it was impossible for me to write all these books to the level that I wanted them to be by myself. And that's when I had told April and Bladen that we needed to bring on another set of writers, and we needed to bring on someone to write, to be a lead writer. And that was something that was important, because I always want you guys to get the best we can possibly put out. Always the best we can put out. And having created the worlds, I felt like, I'm not trying to say that I'm anywhere near our quote unquote forefathers or anything like that, but I'm very grateful to them, and I've watched them go, well, I run the company now. I get to write every blue moon, or I get to draw every blue moon, but I run the company. You know what I mean? And like you'll see some of these cats come to shows and they'll do sketches and they'll talk to people and stuff, but it's more along the lines of they're signing books for the company more than they get to sign their own book. You know what I mean? And it's a very interesting thing because you feel like you've hit a new sort of plateau. You know, you've hit a new thing, and we're very proud of that. And I couldn't be happier with Dan and April and Bladen, you know, being able to run their parts of things, which leaves it to me to be able to go, all right, well, I created this and I created this. Now I'm handing it to these people, and they're going, this is how we either continue with it, we improve it. You know, this is where I think the story should go. Look at Spider-Man, look at Batman, you know, the X-Men. How many people have written those books? You know, your DC characters, your Marvel characters, your Image characters. You know, look at how many people have written Spawn from 1 to whatever. What are we on now? Issue like
300 and something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really 300 and something
It's
already?
over 300.
Yeah,
So,
they were
I remember the special came out in like 2016. It was issue 300. They did like 1 billion covers for that. I remember.
Exactly.
But no, so it's like these cats are showing the way to people. You know, they're, hey, look, hey, Capullo, I'd like you to do this. You know what I mean? Take my character and run with my character. You know, the same thing with Brian. Look at Brian, got all these amazing writers writing all in his books and stuff like that. You know, and I love that. And I love seeing the growth because these new cats are going to take things in directions I hadn't intended, I hadn't known about. But I've said it that since the beginning, I don't write short stories. I don't create characters for you to go, yeah, they were cool for 5 minutes, now they're done. You know, that's not something we do. Speaking of short stories, thank you guys for your patronage with the Halloween miniseries. That was a lot of fun. Everybody had a good time with it, and the pages are looking awesome so far. So, yeah, man, for sure. Super stoked about that.
Thank you for allowing me a little behind the scenes look. So that was very special, and so I feel, and it actually just adds. I'm very much even more excited now to see it all completed and come together and everything else, because now that I have an understanding of kind of what's involved, it's like, holy crap, this is pretty cool.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like you don't expect, like, if like we've got other books coming out to work on, like the Red Label will have its own Red Label versions of a ton of the Blue Label books. Like there's the If It Hops book that'll be in the Red Label stuff. There's, you know, a book that's connected to Frog Legs. It's connected to, you know, the Listener. It's connected to Greed that'll be over there, you know. And then you're going to have it'll have its own titles. You know, there's a new manga with a brand new mangaka coming on for that book, or that
so
the Red
dirty.
Label. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. It is going to be so dirty, and I'm so excited about it. It's just, but there's a lot to expect and a lot to see coming up from the brand. And I know you guys are going to love what Dan's working on. I know you're going to love what you see from him. You know, he's actually looking for a couple other writers right now. So you guys are going to get to see some brand new talent. And they're all going to be great because I trust the shit out of Dan. So they're all going to be great writers. We're going to go through it and we're going to see what they, you know, come up with. But they're all going to be running the books that you see now. You know what I mean? They're going to be running a shit ton of the titles that we're already working on. You know, it's cool because now that we've laid groundwork, we can go, hey, so-and-so is going to get an arc or a run on this book, you know, and maybe somebody else will get a run on this book. The only 2 books I'm not giving up to other writers currently, and that may change, are Babes Born Dinosaurs and If It Hops. So the other books are pretty open, and so
so Danny, if you're, I know Dustin says you're looking for writers, so but do you already have an idea of, you know, a storyline or a story arc that you're trying to find that match, or are you just trying to find people and then you'll fit a story to them once you know who's going to be doing the writing?
I know some people I'm going to reach out to, see what their feelings are, and then see if I can find a book that'll match up.
Okay.
But I think it's going to come up that we'll have projects, and then I'll look for appropriate writers at that point as well. I think it really depends on the situation. Like right now, we don't have a lot of books that need a writer at the moment, but when we do, we'll kind of match it up that way.
Okay.
It's like Crimson Sales. I plan on doing the first 3 to kind of set that universe, but I would like to find somebody to take it over. I have someone in mind who is really kind of an outside choice. So I really have to see if they're interested and also what they could do. They haven't done a lot of comic writing, but they do a different kind of writing.
Interesting. Okay.
And they would come from a very different aspect as well.
That's fun.
Which could be really cool. I mean,
Mhm.
that could really add a whole fresh perspective, or it could not work.
Yeah.
That's the risk I imagine that is taking and trying to and
Yeah.
making sure that.
And in that case, I might need to co-write an issue or two to give them what the formats for comics and stuff, because there is part of comic writing you can teach, but it's not the actual talent part. It's the formula.
Yeah. Some of the formatting, the formula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the spacing between faces, turning people's bodies so much, making sure you've got dialogue bubble space. There's a lot to it.
Mhm.
And I think that one of the great things about what we do here that'll help writers and will take a little bit of weight off Dan is we have a full team. So it's like when he goes, hey, look, the writing is ready. I like what I want to see on this page. Then they can just turn it into our artists most of the time. And our artists are going to be like, well, this is the panel layout. This is what we should see. That's how I started. When I started, I had these fanciful ideas for pages. I wanted to see all this amazing action or yada, yada. But you still have to get from point A to point B, And with comics, though, one of the coolest things about them is you can show A and B. You don't always have to show exactly how you got from A to B. You just have to give the perception of how you got from A to B, because your mind is going to carry you in comic books. Art is such an amazing thing, and like there are so many times when I go, somebody has a page and I'll be like, fuck, I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's gorgeous. I had no clue that was going to happen, and you're like, again, that's the whole lightning in a bottle thing. As long as we can hit that fucking lightning all the time, it's nuanced.
It's
Gotta get it. You gotta get it now.
Get it.
No,
Yeah,
strike
I
while
get
the mulberry's wet.
Oh my gosh, keep all the mulberries wet. Jesus.
so I'm curious about, because I mean, so Dustin and Dan, both writers, and I mean, so do you guys? I mean, do you find that you have a similar style? Is that one of the reasons it works, or
Fuck no.
do you have complementary different book? I mean, I'm just curious because
No, Dan is very schooled. Dan
Yeah.
writes beautiful stuff.
right, and that's what I was hearing him talk, and then I hearing you talk, and I'm going, I'm
No,
sensing
dude.
very different levels, but
No.
obviously it's
Dan-
working. But it's just I
Dan
find
is like Dan's like that hot chick that knows how to fuck. And I'm like the
Wow.
chick that's dirty as shit and just gets in there and gets at it. You know what I mean? Like I'm the sloppy, hop
Sloppy
in
seconds.
and there you have
know,
it, folks. There's your mental image for the night.
That's it. You don't take me to mom. You take Dan to wine and dine. You take me to the dive bar. You know what I mean?
Wick
It's
line,
very-
keeping it classy.
That's it.
Absolutely.
God.
Yeah. I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I guess this is technically my 30th year in comics.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I mean, one could say.
Yeah. I mean, first convention was in '94, and we put out ash cans. So, yep, 30 years.
94 was like just yesterday, though, right?
It feels like it.
Yeah.
But I've even taught in Phoenix one year. I taught, like Dustin was saying about don't sign up for a class. I taught a class at PhoenixCon on comic book writing, but you paid $25 and the money went to comic or Hero Initiative. But yeah, so I've got the techniques and stuff.
Now, to clarify, he said don't pay somebody off of Facebook
Yes.
to teach you how
Yes.
to write comics.
That's because look, I got taken for so much money when I started.
Yep.
I had so many people take advantage of me, and we got that project live right now on Kickstarter, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, no, I was that is such a key point. I'm not saying don't take classes. I'm not
Right.
saying
There are
don't
legitimate
take
classes out there, legitimate, sources,
Yeah.
legitimate seminars, things like
Don't
that.
give it to somebody you don't know.
do
off
do
the
your
Right,
street.
research
man.
and use caution.
Bobby Joe that wrote a fucking porno mag in his backyard. Don't buy that shit. You know what I mean? Come in here and be. I'd really like to learn how to write comic books, so I should take a real class. Or I'd really like to learn how to do artwork. Cool, there are a bunch of amazing fucking schools. Go to the amazing schools, get an education, do the shit. And that comes from a place of love. I promise. It may not sound like it, but it really does, because every day someone falls off. Every day someone falls off. And it's not just the cats that are trying to do it in their mom's basement. It's the cats that have been doing this a long time. They're not getting work. They can't keep up. It's a lot about
It's a grind.
it really is, man. It is, but it's also that whole, have an expectation, have a realistic look at things, and if you do it the proper way, it's going to pay off. You know what I mean? Like, you look at these cats right now, they get picked up to do video games, they get picked up to do films, they get picked up to do, indie films, they get picked up to do all kinds of stuff, and it's amazing. The artwork is absolutely amazing because it's, you get jobs in so many different things. Like, I worked when I first got out of college and I got picked up by the city of Jacksonville, I was designing buildings, like to scale buildings. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but that's the job I could get, and it was a good job, so
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying is go to the right place. Don't go to the back alley fucking Napster that's going to teach you how to fucking write a comic book.
Yeah, and most of how you're going to learn is by doing.
Absolutely.
When I got into comics, it was with a bunch of other newbies. We were all like at a comic shop type of stuff. We formed together, and somehow I got moved up to being the guy in charge.
Right on.
It might be my height, I don't know. But as it went along, I found myself learning and doing every job involved in putting a comic out. I did the page designs and layouts. I inked pages. I colored pages. I lettered pages. I wrote scripts. I edited everything.
Good Lord, a little bit of everything. Yep.
Yeah, I even did page layouts. The only thing I didn't do was actually draw the pages because I'm not that good at art. So, but which became fun later when, I'm working with somebody and they go, "Oh, we can't change that. It's already colored." And I'm like, "Yeah, you got it on multiple layers. Just go into the one layer, change the tint on that one, and
Don't
stop
fuck with
bitching
me.
about it." Yeah.
And then
I know
you're
what
like,
I'm talking about.
what?
April says that shit all the time. She's like, "Whatever, dude. If you want it changed, we're gonna fucking fix it." And I'm like, "Oh shit,"
Or when you're talking to a letterer and you're like, "Okay, you've got to guide the reader's eyes through the backwards S here and get them from panel to panel, and don't work opposite of the artwork." And they're like, "What?"
Well, see, that's why I'm very grateful. ES is our letterer. He was in here a second ago. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's been with us for years now, and everything is absolutely gorgeous. And that's something, if you're going to put out a comic book, you're going to pay to put out a comic book. It's not going to be, $1,500. I hate it for you. It's not. I talk all the time when people ask me, what's the biggest thing about putting out a comic book of my own? Pockets. Pockets are what's
Because every dress needs them.
Every
That's
dress
it.
needs them, exactly.
Every dress needs them. I agree. I got them in mind.
I want to see you in the dress. You just said you had a dress. I caught that.
You're
So-
Is it mulberry colored?
go,
If Morgana goes,
In the
Morgana
shade of
goes over
mulberry.
100, if Morgana goes over 100,000, then Dustin will wear a dress.
I damn sure will.
No, we want to say 50. We want to keep
Tattoo her on my
expectations,
ass
right?
cheek.
Dustin,
Oh,
I
we're-
noticed that your
all day.
shirt is mulberry.
It's pink.
I
Fuchsia.
love it.
It's a very fetching color.
Thank
It is.
Thank you. Pink looks good on me.
It does.
You know, he said I'm biased about being the bang for your buck. You know, it's funny though. Like in all reality, you can't go to an artist worth their salt and be like, I only want to give you $100 for a book, or I only want to do this, or I want to do that. Same thing with writers, same thing with letterer, same thing with the colorist. And then if you've got to get an inker, you know what I mean? You know, it's funny. I just paid for a cover that was probably more than a lot of people expect that they're going to pay for an entire book. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff that is important, but you have to build your fan base before you start trying to just hammer it. You know what I mean? You don't just come out hammering things. It's you gotta have backers. You gotta have, you know, people that give a shit about what you're talking about. You sell yourself when you sell that first few books altogether. You know what I mean? People have to know you. People have to give a shit about you. You know, Copics, absolutely. Jesus, that's
my God.
$100 for like 7 of them. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Jesus.
Hey,
Fuck.
we were talking about lettering, and
Cashed in my
you know,
vacation.
as great as letterers are, if they lay the, you know, they design the story, they move everything along. But I'm old enough that I actually used to hand letter and use the
man.
names guide. You know, and I'm pretty sure most of letters nowadays don't even know what a names guide is.
No, that's that little plastic tool, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Draw the lines, exactly.
Yeah, man. Whoa, not me, bro. That shit's crazy. You know, people will be like, Dustin, you know, why do you put your initials when you sign the book and you don't put your whole name? First off, it'd be long as fuck. Okay. First off. Second off, I've broke my hand 3 times.
Yep.
So I try to make sure you guys get the same signature on every book. You know, so I can't even imagine. Like, I'm meticulous, right? So I ended up getting my Ryan Kincaid table. April saw it. It's about 10.5 feet long. I got my Ryan Kincaid table so I could sign fucking books, right? And so then it's like, if I'm not meticulous, everybody's getting a different signature, and no one's going to tell that it's mine. You know, so I'm like, all right, slow down.
Who's this? Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. That's one reason I use paint markers, you know, so they give me the time to sit there and be like, slow your roll, motherfucker. All right, here's my initials on this one. That one looks real good. Man, look, I've got a stack of books that I've signed that I wasn't happy about the signatures laying around here somewhere. So I just pulled another copy and signed it, you know. So, yeah, no. I can't even imagine.
Well, I have to laugh because I had no idea what Dan was talking about with the Eames thing, but that has nothing to do with age and everything. The fact that I'm not in comics, I don't create them. So I'm like,
Can you imagine?
cool, I learned something new.
That's lettering. That's like getting a Japanese old school tattoo. Fuck that too. No, dude. No, I'm tattooed all over my body, and I'm not doing that shit. But can you imagine how much time it took someone to sit there and hand letter? No,
Yes, I can.
exactly. Fuck all that.
You can.
No, I don't want to do it. You know, but it makes you respect, though. Again, you have to respect the people that were there before you, the people that have done it before you, because like if it was somebody that didn't have the experience that Dan does, I would be like, oh fuck, you know, whatever. You're not gonna come and tell me what the fuck I need to do. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Dan or people that have been writing much longer than me, I am immediately like, oh, I get it. I understand, you know, impart wisdom, you know, I'll listen. You know, I'm never going to be like, hey, stop. Like April with colors. I don't ever tell April other than goddamn Mulberry that I don't want the colors that she has decided to use, you know, or like Bladen. I don't ever come at Bladen and be like, hey, dude, I disagree. Most of the time I'm like, oh yeah, I think you're right. Or yeah, cool. Look, that's your part of this. You know it better than I do. I accept that and I respect it, you know?
Oh my God. This mulberry thing is only like 10 days old. This is the best.
It is not as good as Code Yellow. Code Yellow is getting a shirt well before goddamn Mulberry.
You just watched the Mulberry Man's gonna make an appearance in the Red Label.
Oh my God.
Oh,
No.
no, Mulberry and
Put it in
Camel.
one of your
Rock
art
bear show up
books,
first.
baby, not in an ongoing fucking book.
Oh no, it'll be a stretch goal.
I'll be sending you a pitch later for Mulberry Hill.
No,
Yeah. Mulberry Drive. There we go.
no one wants that. Nobody wants the mulberries. Nobody wants the dingleberries. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Those are two wildly different things.
No, I feel like mulberry is something you pluck off your dog's ass when it runs
What's
by.
funny? What's
Oh.
funny is that is like the go-to highlight color that like a lot of colorists use.
Whatever. They can fucking change that shit.
Oh.
How I feel about that.
Perfect. All except for that one. That one was too pink. We pulled it back a little.
That one was real pink.
Yeah.
It was real pink.
So perfect though. It just set the tone for the whole trip.
It's whatever. So Yellow Label is going to be amazing. Or Yellow Label. Code Yellow. Oh my god. I got a third label coming out. That's gonna be my TV production.
There
label.
you go.
There we go.
But then when you do that, everybody thinks it's got a pee fetish when you're doing movies.
Yeah, let's say Yellow
Oh.
Label where we put the golden showers.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
It's not great.
Oh.
Not great. Then the first movie that comes out is Yellow Showers by IP Freely. It's not good.
Ivana
Wah,
Tinkle.
wah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I don't think. Well, you know what? It might do well. I'm just not going to be in it.
There's a niche
Well,
market for everything.
You gotta do an unnecessary hair flip at some point.
Oh my god! Beware the yellow snow cones. Yes, beware.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't fucking behave. Where have you been? There is no behaving.
Not on this show.
Again, you
Not with this
sound
group.
yourself. If you guys didn't like me, you wouldn't have started buying our books to begin with. So
Straight off the
I
rails.
don't behave. I do not behave.
You keep telling me to, and I just,
I'm
fight
trying.
the system.
Don't buck the system. The system works.
I need a T-shirt that says "I tried to behave, but there were too many options."
Yeah, Mike.
There was only two.
Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. That's a horror book title for me. Oh man.
Yeah.
I have. Look, if you only knew the amount of oh my gosh, the amount of drafts that are going to go to Dan in the next week and a half, it's fucking dumb. So
Be
don't
prepared, Dan.
Starting with
Don't
Zeno.
wish things.
Dan's
upon
girding
poor
his
guy.
loins, getting ready.
Don't wish things upon that poor man. But no, there's I mentioned the Red Label earlier. I'm very, very proud of it. There are a couple titles that are coming out that are going to come out before most other things, but we've got like I mentioned, Crimson Sails. Dan's already got his hands on Crimson Sails, but we've got From Ashes to Iron that we're working on, which is a dwarf fantasy book, which is the Red Label mirror of Fallen Leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be super, super fun. I know everybody's going to enjoy that one because we're all fans of fantasy and stuff like that. So that'll be, a good book to work on. But you guys pick up this special edition when it comes out, this store exclusive for Mike Nocerino's stuff. He's a good dude. He sells a bunch of books. Really, really nice cat. And April is doing a hell of a job on this penny.
Listed or available, like on your website and stuff. Or how do we find what's done?
Yeah, Mike does his own thing. He's got a YouTube. Mike, what's your fucking eBay store? What is the name of your eBay? What is your eBay store called, man? Watch him not even be in here anymore, and I'm gonna fuck.
No, he's here.
Trying to help that man out. Oh, Sarah, you're not crazy.
Nope.
He did. They did a sticker on this one.
Yep. No cover on this one.
Yeah, it's they did the free sticker. They did the free sticker on this one.
Okay, so 10/4/10 comics.
Yes, 10/4/10 comics. You are absolutely not crazy, madam.
What are you not crazy about?
She asked if she said, are they missing the Wilson cover? We did a sticker.
Oh,
with
the sticker, yes.
Yep. Like I said, this is the first book we've put out since BGD since BGD issue 1 that didn't have a Wilson cover. But yeah, this one's got a sticker on it.
Yep.
They'll be on the next book though. This one was just is very, very different. Very happy with the covers though. They came out beautiful.
I was really happy with that sticker. They surprised me. It's so pretty.
Man, they did. That sticker is so gorgeous.
Oh man, Carrie Ann with those purple feathers.
Yeah.
Definitely got to get that sticker.
Fucking mulberry.
Mulberry
let me
feathers?
Yes,
let me find that goddamn sticker because it's gorgeous.
it is.
Like it's just so much fun. Let me see if I can download.
Yeah,
it
I've already
and-
given the Wilsons like another like 2 or 3 assignments, so they're going to be hard at work for us.
Hell yeah!
No
For a
lie.
while yet? Oh,
Yep.
darn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Well, we love Steph and Carrie, so
Yeah. Oh, they hold a special place in my heart.
they
Oh,
do.
for
Oh my
sure.
god,
Yep.
they are some of the best
people.
marketers I've ever met in my
That
whole life.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like my whole life, and they're just some of the nicest people. When I started this, there's the sticker because it's just adorable.
Oh yeah, that's just it's adorable.
It's so good. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
But no, they welcomed me with open arms in the community and were letting me know, who was not a good person to be around and stuff like that. Because again, community's scary in comic books when you're in the indies. I mean, I imagine it's scary when you get out of the indies, but it's pretty tough when you're first putting your feet down and stuff in the indies. Oh yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting to talk, Mike. I think that's very cool. They've been talking to a bunch of the friends and stuff, so I think that's badass.
Yeah.
But
I hang out with them a lot.
we're gonna get out of here. I know
Oh, yeah.
Dan's ready to get out, and I'm about to freeze my cojones off because my unit downstairs is not working right now, and
Oh, that's not good.
You
fucking blizzard. No, man, like it's so cold. It's really fucking cold. And like they've my upstairs unit is working and I have the doors closed though, so that the heat is not radiating downstairs right now. So thank you guys so very much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Like I said, check out that campaign. It's absolutely gorgeous. So proud of the team working on it. I know you guys are absolutely gonna love what Dan is putting together.
I already grabbed my pick 3 tier.
Yep. Undid it.
But right on, guys. Well, I hope you all have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm sure we'll have Dan on again to talk about cool stuff, and we'll holler at you guys again soon. Thank you so very much.
Night.
Bye, everyone.
Night, everybody.